Do you love where you live? People in Minnesota may think they live in the best place in the state. After all, you wouldn't spend your life somewhere you truly didn't love, right? Not always. In fact, a Pew Research study determined that almost half of Americans would rather live somewhere else than they do now. Well, if you're in one of the Minnesota cities we're about to highlight, odds are you don't want to go anywhere. The goal today is to analyze the best cities in Minnesota to live. How did we do it? Well, we looked at the places with low crime, great jobs, great weather, affordable housing, and solid schools. We even looked at short commute times. You might be surprised by the results. So pull up a chair and put a smile on your face as we look at Minnesota's best cities. Our first stop on our tour of Minnesota's best city starts in Maple Grove. While lots of people in Minnesota might be like, "Are you kidding me?" When you look at the data, it's actually a great place to live. Crime's the 7th lowest in the state, and they have the 3rd best public schools in Minnesota. Plus, Maple Grove residents are in the top 10 for income levels. Our next best city to live in Minnesota is Lakeville. The unemployment rate here is super low. It's relatively safe here, and the housing market's great. And if you like sunny days, this is your place. It's the kind of place where you can just chill, yo. However, the public schools aren't as good as they are in other districts, so your kids may not be getting the best education. Continuing our best city tour of Minnesota brings us to Minnetonka. This awesome city ranks 8th in income levels, 3rd in school spending, and there's hardly any vacant homes. That means lots of people want to live here. Crime's really low and the public schools are great. If you live in Minnetonka, you're probably straight chillin'. If you're looking for a great place to live, you might want to consider Rogers. Believe it or not, Rogers families command some of the highest incomes in Minnesota. And people here are pretty cheerful. Plus, each Rogers school kid gets about $1,000 more each than the state average. It sure beats some of the other middle and nowhere places in Minnesota where you could call home, that's for sure. Plymouth comes in as the 6th best city to live in Minnesota. While there's a ton of places in Minnesota where people are very backwoods, you won't find that here, where residents earn on average the 3rd highest incomes overall. Plymouth is 7th lowest for crime too. However, the bad side of this area is commute times. There aren't too many other places in Minnesota where you'll sit in the car longer going to and from work. Despite the fact that many people haven't considered it before, Chanhassen is actually a great place to live. Families are comfortable here and the housing market's doing just fine. And it seems just about everyone in Chanhassen is in a great mood all the time. No surprises here that Victoria is one of the best places to live in the state. Victoria takes number 1 in 3 categories. It's the safest place to live, the unemployment rate's the lowest in the state, and surprisingly, commute times aren't that bad. And if you don't have a job in Victoria, it's because you simply refuse to work. Where's the 3rd best city to live in Minnesota? You might be surprised to hear it, but it's Waconia. Not only is Waconia one of the most beautiful cities in the state, it has great schools and low crime. Plus, it's not very crowded. And if you want to get away to a bigger city, it's easy. Yeah, people in Waconia have it made. This may not be a very popular opinion, but when you look at the data, Prairie is the 2nd best city you can live in Minnesota. People here are really successful, and folks in Prairie earn pretty decent salaries, thank you very much. That means you can retire a lot earlier. Plus, you don't have to watch your back all the time since crime's really low. And where's the best city to live in Minnesota? That would be Edina. Surprised? Households in Edina are in the top 10 when it comes to average incomes. And not only do Edina folks earn great salaries, most of them are employed. Plus, you have a ton of stuff to do within a short drive. Factor in lots of fun, low crime, and lots of friendly people, and you've got one hell of a place to call home. If you live in Edina, or however you say it, or any of the other Minnesota cities we mentioned, congratulations. You certainly have a reason to smile.